Hello, Oracles. How are we doing today? Oof, man, my allergies are kicking my butt. I don't know about you guys. How are your allergies doing? Because it's been rough. It's been rough for sure. What is going on, Sith Lord? Yes, hit that like button, please. Marty in the house. What is going on? Oh boy. So let's take a quick look here at the charts as everybody is starting to roll in. Let me jump on here. Looks like we're down a little bit. Not a big deal. We've been talking about this quite a while, beating a dead horse, but let's see here. Hey, what's going on, John? There we go. All right, yeah. So again, down 1.5%, not a huge deal. But again, we've got these gaps. So we've been chipping away at this gap above us. Still goes up to 177, then this one to 183. So, I mean, where are we going to go? And we actually have a tiny little gap that was created below us at 162.95. So there's just gaps all over the place right now. It's ugly. And as we were discussing, we've got, the government is discussing the debt ceiling, which I personally think is absolutely ridiculous. What's going on? Hey, what's going on in Chicago over there? Yeah, this whole debt ceiling thing, it boggles my mind because like, if you and I were getting into debt and we had bills that we had to pay, we couldn't just magically make more money. That would be illegal and we would go to jail for it. But when our government does it, it's totally okay. Like, dude, just stop with the spending. Oh my God. And of course, we know full well that the spending isn't actually spending, it's them figuring out ways to smuggle more money into their own pockets. That is, you can call it a conspiracy theory, but it's probably pretty true. Yeah. So yeah. What else we got going on today? So actually, they had the discussion today. I gotta be honest with you, I didn't even see how that all went. So I don't even know if they came up to the final decision as to what they're going to do. They've never defaulted before, so I don't think they're going to default now. What's going on, Raymond? It's ridiculous how they do it. But either way, we just have to deal with it. There's nothing we can do significantly on our end. Obviously, voting and things, but yep, inflation numbers coming out tomorrow. We've got CPI coming out. So, Raymond, when is PPI? Is PPI Thursday? Usually it's CPI then PPI. So, it'll be interesting to see this and, just the market reacting to all of this. And then we've got the next FOMC meeting is in June, mid-June. So that's going to determine whether we're going to be getting the pause or there another rate hike. And obviously it's data points that are going to push us to this point. So we may see data points like tomorrow's CPI data that actually moves us one way or the other to fill one gap above or below. Actually, let me see if I can bring up that for you guys. CPI. All right, let's get this up here for you. Oh, come on. So much junk. Get the heck off of here. All right, I'll pop this up on the screen for you guys to see. Yeah, PPI Thursday. That's what I thought. All right. So, yep. So tomorrow we are looking at, again, a forecast of 5%, just like we had last month. And as I've been saying all along, looking at the Fed's probably trying to get the interest rates above inflation. And right now it's right at it. So we're at 5 to 5.25% for interest rates. And the CPI inflation is at 5%. So we're right at that level. So if we come in at 5% again, we're still right there. And so with all of that, that's telling me that, hey Ash, what's going on? Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, so with the CPI coming in at 5%, the Fed being above it, you go back to last year, the thing that drives me nuts is last year we had gotten all the CPI data that came in, and then February rolled around and they adjusted all the numbers from the previous year. So it's like, how accurate are these numbers that we're actually getting right now? So I always keep that in the back of my head, which based upon what the Fed wants us to see, this looks like we're going in the right direction. But is this true reality, or are we going to get another change of numbers at the beginning of next year showing us that, oh, maybe we weren't actually where we were? So I'm not sure where we're going to be at with that, but I just follow the numbers that we're given, follow what the Fed's going to do, and just basically the Fed has done everything they've said they're going to do all along the way. Just got to follow it and just go with what they're doing for us. Raymond, Tim, did you watch the Corpus Christi groundbreaking? Cybertruck was the star. As usual, Elon made more prediction on refinery timeline. Yes, I did see that. Actually, my video yesterday, I discussed that. It was awesome. I mean, obviously, it was just a formality. We knew it was coming. But the cool part was, yes, he drove in on the Cybertruck, showed the functionality of the Cybertruck in very small amounts, but he had the shovels in the back. I like the shovels because the shovels were like cyber shovels, which were pretty cool. And then the timelines. So we're looking at basically 1 year for construction. So it's going to take 1 year to build the factory, and then 1 year from that point, they will have it fully. Well, we'll call it ramped, but to full capacity within a year after that, producing enough lithium for 1 million vehicles. That's awesome. And again, it's usually 7 to 9 years for most lithium refineries to get to that point. And this is going to be the largest refinery in all of North America, larger than all of the rest of them combined. And they're going to do it in 2 years. So that's just how Tesla rolls. So it's awesome to see this. The Fed is piloting the Titanic. We know how that movie ends. Yeah. Except the difference in this case is they are intentionally driving it into an iceberg versus just being stupid about it. Which kind of drives me nuts. But again, we're just pawns. We have to deal with it. And if you know how the game is played, you can do better than others. But nobody's ever going to do as well as politicians because, they are the best investors in the world. It's amazing. Let me see. I'm checking to see what PPI is supposed to be. Let's see here. PPI data coming in. All right, so that's actually looking like we're supposed to be coming down. So looking at the PPI, we are looking at forecast coming down to 2.4%. Now, PPI is typically a leading indicator for the CPI. So if we see that coming down, typically the CPI comes down as well. So looking at these numbers here, so the PPI, the producer price index, being right around that 2% level that the Fed wants for inflation, that's getting close to the point they want it to be. And then the next step is going to be the CPI, which, they keep saying it's sticky. We'll see how that goes tomorrow. But I think any numbers coming down showing the indication that we're moving in the right direction is good. And so we'll just have to wait till tomorrow on that one. Oh, man. I'm almost to my 66th share for Tesla in my main portfolio. Very excited about that. I will be getting that tomorrow. And then again, I don't know where the year is going, but still looking to I'll get to 100 shares easily. I'm trying to get to 200. 200 will be tight, got to work on that income coming in. But if you guys who have been following me, you saw the video that I put out over the weekend, showing my income investments and everything. So I've been working a lot more with dividend ETFs, my CD interest. When we're looking at a stock market right now, yes, the beginning part of the year was a nice run. We saw a very nice run beginning part of the year. But the what's going on now is we're kind of sitting flat. We're down obviously in Tesla a little bit, and we're kind of sitting flatter. So now the question is, are we going to see this run when the Fed pauses, or are we not? Have we already started this run? And it's not like a magic, hey, we're going to pop. It's over time we move up in that direction. So are we starting that move now? We don't know. Usually we don't know that we've been on it until a couple of months have gone by. So I'm kind of curious right now as to whether we've started that run when it comes to the pause run or not. And so for me, I just want to have that cash flow coming in. So these dividend ETFs, which are nice because a lot of them have these high growth plays in them. They've got Tesla, Apple, all these companies. So they pay out nice dividends. And then if they also grow and they grow the share price as well, that's going to be even better for me. So I'm kind of looking forward to see in the other direction. It's kind of like a little hedge against myself. Raymond, I stumped you with that one. If anybody can guess that mountain behind me, that'll be That'll be awesome. I'll give you, if you guys can't figure it out in a little bit, I'll give you a hint as to where it is. Marty, looks like the rest of the world, other than the U.S., will be getting various LFP batteries. Yeah, yeah. It's, I don't know. China Model Y being sold in Canada. Yes, they started shipping those over recently. So that's pretty cool. Hey, what's going on? I love Sweden. Sweden was awesome. That's right. I ran my last Spartan race was over in Sweden. The dividend companies that I currently have, I've got QYLD, I have JEPI, JEPQ, TSLY is one that I just dove into, and Gort and I were chatting about it the other day. Super high yield max dividends on that. So I'm curious as to how long they're going to be able to run these high dividends for. Looks like it's already dipped down after a few months. Apple has one as well. So it's APLY. I just jumped into that, but they haven't even paid a dividend out yet because they just opened up last month. So I'm just kind of curious about those. I haven't put a lot of money into them because they're newer, risky, not a lot of data behind them yet. So I'm really kind of curious as to where they're going to go. But I threw a little bit of money into them just to see what's going on. But those are the ones that I currently have. I also have SVOL, the Treasury yield dividend. Nope, not Mount Rainier. Although I do want to climb Mount Rainier too. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all the way to the top, but that is on my list of places to go. And actually, let me see. Oh, no, I can't check it here. Yeah, I was going to see if I can show you guys. I'm actually trying to get a spreadsheet up. The way I was trying to do my Excel spreadsheet for my portfolio. I'm just trying to convert it. I currently have it in Google Docs, so I'm trying to get over to Excel. And then that's something I can share with all you guys who are members and patrons. And then the end of the month, I'll share it with you guys all in a video as well as to what all my positions are. Because I've got a bunch in my IRA. So I've got my IRA and then I've got my stock portfolio. And so I have no problem sharing that with you guys. I currently don't have an easy way to share it. Most of it's in Tesla anyway. I've got 64% Tesla right now just because it's dipped down. So I'm only at 64%. What else we got going on? Anything in the news? I haven't even had a chance to check. My job has been so insanely busy. I'm just hopping on Twitter really quick, see if there's anything maybe that I missed. Share it with you guys. And I'm not going to stay on too long today just because I'm not feeling hot. Allergies are kicking my butt. Groundbreaking. Nope. Let's see what else we've got. Update this. No, we're good here. Oh, PLTR. Does anybody have Palantir? I do own Palantir, and I was adding to a few of my positions over the last couple of weeks. Some of the ones I do like really long-term. They're high-growth stocks, but they're more risky plays. I just added a little bit to them because I was so beaten down. And Palantir was not one that I added to. I don't know why I didn't add to it. Normally I would have. But they had awesome earnings. Another quarter in a row, second quarter in a row with GAAP earnings that are positive. So positive GAAP earnings, looking good for Palantir. So I've got some of that myself. I've got 25 shares, so not a huge chunk, but my portfolio is still on the smaller side. But I'll take 25 shares of that. Let's see. Yeah, nothing else going on. Where are we at here? Yep, Palantir. Arnie is great with Palantir stuff. Let me see if I can jump this up here for you guys. Yep, Palantir revenues. 20 clients generate 50% of the revenue. So again, concentration risk. And again, I know this is one of the riskier plays, but they were slated to become profitable in 2025. They're already profitable now, and they forecast to be profitable through the end of this year as well. So the next 2 quarters, they will also see profits based upon their forecast and guidance. I mean, the way I look at it is, it's, I like it. I like it as a growth play. And again, because of where I'm at in my positions, I can just add to these and just kind of wait. I have time on my side. So I'll see with that, but that's why I'm also putting money into my dividend ETFs. That's the mountain Godzilla emerges from in every movie. No, not even close to that one. Although I'm not sure which mountain that is. Is that Mount Fuji maybe? I would imagine that would be Mount Fuji. Really bullish that Elon is talking about giving FSD to everyone free for a month. I don't think he'd be putting this out unless he thought solving FSD was close. Yeah, and that's actually not bad. I mean, talk about advertising. So traditional advertising is, hey, we're going to create a commercial, put it out there, and educate people on things. Tesla and Elon's way of advertising is, well, we know the future for us, and the plan is to get as many vehicles in the hands of consumers as possible. Then, at that point, they will then purchase FSD or other software with high margin ticket items so that they can make more profits. Well, what better way to do that than say, hey, we're going to advertise by giving you a free month of FSD. Try it out. If you like it, this is what the cost is per month. Sort of like what they used to do with OnStar back in the day. Very similar to something like that, or any one of these. Oh my gosh, totally losing my mind. The radio stations that are out there as well. Um, wow, it's kind of it's been a long weekend. I know it's only Tuesday, but yeah. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Is Elon says, hey, we're not going to advertise, but we'll give you this product for free. Try it out. If you like it, use it. Then guess what? The more people who use it, the more word of mouth advertising they're going to get for FSD. That's how it's going to go. People question, ooh, is it really worth that kind of money? Oh yeah, it's worth that kind of money. So, and again, I do believe that you're right. The feeling that it's really close to being solved is going to be awesome. And again, solving is, I don't even know if it's the right term to use. It's the March of Nines, just um, becoming safer than human drivers on a consistent basis. And I've said it before, very much like with uh, the safety score that you get when you drive. When you've got that safety score that's out there, they can obviously test it with FSD as well. So when you start to see the safety score of FSD becoming better than the safety score of the majority of humans, that is that moment where you're going to say, okay, FSD is now safer than human drivers for the most part. Yeah, Lucid numbers are bad. 1 year till bankruptcy unless Saudi wastes more money of their oil profits. Yeah, Lucid's not looking good. Stephen Mark Ryan had put out a tweet, kind of rehashing this last week. BYD gave up on FSD themselves. Lucid's in the crapper. Ford is losing 102% margins for their EVs. GM can't produce anything. It has not been a good week. VW is struggling with software. Yeah, not a good week for competition when it comes to EVs. Nicholas, I also like the idea. I mean, come on, after trying it out for a month, everybody will use it as a subscription. Yeah, absolutely. That's it. You try it. And even if you give it free to everyone, let's say only 10% of the people you give it to for free actually carry over, that's another 10%. That's huge. That's a huge number of people that are going to be using this. I mean, just massive revenues coming in. And again, right now, some people aren't taking it because it's sticker shock and they don't know the actual value behind it because they haven't tried it. They haven't seen it. So letting people try it for a month, then they can actually see and judge for themselves, is it worth that amount of money? So, but you don't know. You just say immediately, that's too much money. I don't want to spend it. I don't know enough about it. Gone. Yeah, allowing people to keep FSD if they buy a new car seems like a no-brainer. Those people supported its development and they should benefit. That's one of the things I wish they did. Instead of having the FSD carry with the vehicle, I wish it carried with the owner. And again, if we're going to go over to, eventually it's not going to matter because once you go over to a strictly monthly subscription based only, you're not going to be able to buy it in a lump package. It's not going to matter. So it technically would be with the owner and not the vehicle. But either way, because every vehicle is going to have it in it. It's just a matter of, are you actually paying the monthly subscription to have it? So I would imagine either end of this year or beginning of next year, they're probably going to end up going away from the one-time purchase and go strictly to a subscription-based model. Yeah, Marty, Palantir doesn't have a physical product, so I'm skeptical about it. Yeah, and the thing is, like, they're getting into AI, but you think about some other companies that don't have a physical product either. I mean, technically, I mean, does Twitter have a physical product? It's obviously an app that we can use and we physically use it. Palantir is basically the same though. It's a software company that produces things just like that. So, and they have a lot of government contracts. But yeah, I mean, as Arnie put it, it's questionable. They have the very concentrated consolidation of their revenue coming in from very few companies. So, I would like to see them expand out to other companies as well, and take it from there. What's the gap that hasn't been filled below today's close for Tesla? That was, well, let me pop it up here for you. So the gaps that we have are below us. 162.95 is the most recent one. Very tiny gap below us here, and then down to 146 below that. So RSI right now is in the middle at 47. So we're kind of at that place where, again, we can still go either direction. CPI and PPI might be the things that move us in that one way or the other to fill the gap above or gap below. And that's happening over the next couple of days. And thank you, Raymond, for reminding me of that. Yeah, and then 146, right, is below that 162. So I think if we do come down based on the data, I think we'll still hit that 146, and that'll be in that oversold range, which I think we may have an opportunity to come down there. So we'd be in the oversold range, and then might kind of consolidate there and then come up a little bit and then start to work our way up. So timing wise, we could still come down and fill that gap at 146, get that pause in June, and then start to climb up from there and fill the gaps above us before the end of the year. So both are totally possible. Yeah, 15K is too much unless I can somehow turn my Model 3 into a robo-taxi. Exactly. If you were in a position where you can get a return on that investment, totally worth it. Absolutely. But we're not there yet. So, that's the one thing. And some people who do use their vehicles as an Uber, sure, go ahead and get it, because then you can show it off to your passengers, use it for videos or whatever you want to do. Totally worth it. But yeah, 15K right now for many people is a lot, especially if you're going to be, if you don't have the $15,000, which most people don't have it sitting around just for FSD anyway. If you're going to purchase your vehicle and lump that into a loan, that's now $15,000 more that's getting whacked with 6, 7, maybe even 8% interest on that, which is just bonkers. So it's making it even harder for people to even buy FSD. Yeah, exactly. Commercial FSD in the semi is at least 100K. Absolutely. And you're selling it to for commercial use. Yeah, that's going to be an insane revenue generator right there. Yeah, 199 is a month is a great deal. I agree with that. Um, and again, seeing is that you can turn it on and off when you want. And that's one of the things that, as I was toying around getting my Tesla, whether I take FSD or not, would be just that. I would say, hey, you know what? I'm going to try it for a month. This is before Elon had mentioned going free. I was like, I'll try FSD for a month. I'll see how it is. If I like it, then I can stick with it for another month. Or maybe they come up with an update and then I can turn it back on again for the next update and see what the improvements are. It's nice. Oh, nice. Solar Palantir after a good profit. A company making their profits due to war and people being scared. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's not something I feel I want to own. Any thoughts? Yeah. I was actually talking about that at work today with my guys. It's sad how we live in some cultures that profit on fear. So they do a lot of fear mongering just to get profits. Kind of drives me nuts. From my standpoint, I don't like to invest in stuff like that. They've got other things going on as well, but yeah, I don't like that. I may take profits and run, but I'm still upside down on it significantly, so I got to wait some time before I get a profit on it. I still think they're going to do fine in the longer term, but yeah, you're right on that. Taking profits in anything, I think there's nothing wrong with taking profits. Even people who take profits in Tesla, go for it. Absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I'm not one of the people who says never sell, never sell. Hey, you got to do what you feel is best for your own portfolio. If you feel like you want to sell something to make a profit, absolutely. You've made money, take it. Michael, I think the subscription cost will increase once FSD is released. You're probably right. I wonder if they're going to have, it's like, I thought about it. I wonder if they're going to have tiers of it. But it's kind of like, They already have that now with between autopilot and FSD. So, that's kind of the tiers that they have now. Would they even do more in the future? What other features could you have for FSD um, that's going to be different? You think about the safety features that go into cars these days, things that are required to have seat belts, stuff like that. And then you go into like the higher end versions of those things. Could they do that with FSD? Like, hey, here's your basic FSD, your basic autonomy that's going on. Then we can have some extra bells and whistles on top of it. Like you would have maps that are included with other things like, voice control, things like that. I wonder if they're going to have different versions of it like that. Ooh, controversial statement. I like this. And I wonder if the state and government, federal regulators are going to allow FSD to be deployed without some kind of tax or compensation paid to the government. Currently, right now, it goes state by state. Some states allow it, some states don't. When it comes to a federal regulation, I would imagine they're going to maybe. It's probably just going to be the basic same tax as everything else that they have that's out there, strictly because of the fact that it's going to be regulated as a safety feature. And that would be just not to say that the government wouldn't do it, but it would just be wrong of them to do. That would be like them saying, we have to tax you extra for having seatbelts in your vehicle. That's my take on it. Now, granted, seatbelts aren't going to be a massive revenue generator at all, like FSD is going to be. But I would imagine they're just going to tax it like they normally tax everything else. And they make the government likes to manipulate people, but they'd be probably in quite a bit of an uproar if there's enough data that Tesla's going to provide that says, hey, FSD is saving so many lives. We save 90% of automobile deaths because, of FSD and autonomy. Having the government say, well, that's awesome, but we have to tax you on that and you have to pay more to save your life. That's dirty. And I think a lot of people would be against that. But again, we have a lot of people who are against a lot of things. The government says, we don't care. We want our money. Yeah, all excited about FSD, but now it seems far away from approval. Don't forget that China is the largest market, and China might have autonomy regulated before we do in the US. And even in the US, again, as I said, it goes state by state. So it could totally be good in some states and not others. So waiting for that federal regulation may not matter at first, just because that goes state by state, town by some are town by town, district by district. What's going on, Karav? What happens to FSD if you wreck your car? That's actually a great question. Like, what if you get into an accident that wasn't your fault, wasn't FSD, but you were using, or just you were in a vehicle that, you have your car, you weren't even using FSD, whatever it was, but it's attached to your vehicle. You get into an accident and that vehicle is totaled. Like, do you just then lose it? That's a great question. Um, Based upon what I know, you would lose it, which stinks. Like, let's say you bought your car, you got FSD, a month later, your car is totaled and you can't get it repaired. Now you're out 15 grand. That's kind of messed up. But I wonder if anybody has actually asked Elon how that works or Tesla themselves, because I'm very curious in that situation how it would work. You're right, Marty. FSU just has to work summer, reducing deaths and accidents. It will then take off like wildfires. You're right. And I think one of the benefits of having Elon own Twitter is we will be able to get that data and we won't have mainstream media manipulating that data that comes out to say this, because we know full well if they didn't want us to know about it, they just wouldn't tell us about it. So now having Twitter being able to give us this information is going to be very handy, because now we're actually going to be able to get the true, real information about this, and then people will see. You're most welcome. Absolutely. I have no problem sharing all my info with you guys. Yep, Texas officially at 5,000 per week. Thank you. I forgot about that one too. Yep, Model Y pumping out 5,000 per week out of Texas. So now we've got Berlin and Texas both pushing out 5,000 per week. So, yep, Model Y. I don't know if they're going to outproduce Berlin. They should. But we know Berlin is currently ahead of Austin right now. The reasons why Austin slipped behind, I truly don't know. But they've clearly caught back up, so it's nice. With politics been where they are, I can see some politicians blocking FSD for a very long time. They will do this, of course, to allow their brand to catch up to Tesla. Yeah, their brand and whatever they need, whoever is paying them in the lobbies to do what they want. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The whole way politics works is not in the best interest of the citizens. Why put taxes on something saving lives? Well, let's look at what the government does. The majority of government money that comes in from lobbyists is from big pharma. And we know that big pharma likes to make a lot of money based upon fear of people losing their lives. So instead of actually saving lives, they decide to instead make things that will just keep lives going for a little bit longer because then they can make more money on it. So you can put two and two together there. But yeah, that's why they would tax something that's saving lives, because they would say, well, it's going to save your life and we need money. If you want to save your life, you'll pay for it. Let's see. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in OEM executive meetings in which they discuss how to meet the challenge from the EVs and Tesla. Yeah, I've been saying that with Mary Barra. Like, what are the meetings like going on in there? Because with the meetings that are going on with Tesla, we know basically what's going on in all of those meetings. They tell us. Elon's pretty transparent with most stuff. Obviously, there's things that they keep behind closed doors, things that they're working on. They don't share a lot of that stuff, but how they're doing it and the direction that they're going, they're wide open with it and transparent. We don't get that from anybody else. Ford's not doing a too bad of a job with it, but others, it always boggles my mind, and I always question people who aren't fully open and transparent, because that always leads me to believe that they're hiding something. Because if you weren't hiding anything, you'd have no problems telling us what's going on. Yeah, that's my take. But I would love to be a fly on the wall. Yeah, government will get a piece of every robo-taxi fare. That would actually make sense. So versus them doing it from a safety feature standpoint, anybody who's using FSD as a robo-taxi, they would get a cut. That makes sense, Marty. Okay. Maybe the insurance company should pay for the FSD cost and replacement of a new Tesla. Huh. That's a good point. Maybe. Maybe the insurance would cover that. I wonder if that works on like that. Oh, reading online. Here we go. This is good. Reading online. It looks like insurance will only cover $5,000 max for accessories, and there's no way to transfer it, so you lose it. So that's not good. Yeah, yeah. And 5,000 obviously is not going to be enough to cover the $15,000 loss. I wonder if there's a way to insure FSD specifically on your Tesla. And I don't know enough about Tesla insurance itself. I wonder if Tesla insurance has that. Um, because obviously it's a software related thing. So if your car gets totaled, is FSD lumped into the value of that vehicle when you get insured? I don't know. When I asked for the insurance on my Tesla, FSD was not included. So I wasn't getting priced on that. So if any of you guys know that, that'd be good information to have. Oh, here we go. Karav. Latest weekly production estimates: Fremont 10.9 thousand, Shanghai 20.1 thousand, Berlin 5.3, Texas 5, 41.3 thousand total, run rate of 2.15 million per year. Awesome. And again, when we look at the fundamentals, regardless of stock price movement, look at these fundamentals. This is the growth you want to see right there, is those numbers. FSD should follow the Tesla app account like iTunes and iPhone. Does it not? I thought it. I mean, I don't know it, so I thought it would. I thought it was all integrated. I guess not. Yes, 220 we're gonna do this, Michael. We're gonna make it happen. Still working on this other option. Yeah, there it is. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. Always, as always, not required, not necessary, but that is going right into my Tesla fund. So for you guys who are newer, any super sticker I get, any super thanks, super chats, anything from you guys will go right into Tesla stock. And when I do my monthly income and investment videos, I'll show you guys that I put it in there. So Google pays out Google paying me from YouTube pays out on the 21st of the month. So when I get that pay, I will get that in here and I'll share with you guys how much I got from that and put right into the stock itself. And I'll just do it right that day when I get that paycheck in. So thank you so much for that support. And job front on the new opportunity I've got. Still can't share too many details about it. Still waiting on the offer letter to come over. I guess they've been pretty busy with stuff that's going on. Lots of hiring issues they're having up in the Northeast, trying to get people on board there. So he's just been busy. He hasn't had a chance to get me the offer letter. But once he gets me that, I will take a look at it. And as long as everything looks kosher, it's going to be an amazing opportunity. I'm also looking at kind of streamlining a lot of things. I'm very scattered at the moment with all of my different social media stuff that's going on. Those of you who do follow me on my health and fitness channel, I've been doing well with Beachbody. Now that I'm back into it, it's been doing well. So I want to get in it. One of my passions is helping other people get healthy and fit and be able to enjoy their wealth with that. So I'm doing a lot of that. So I'm going to kind of streamline a lot of that in that direction. So I'm going to put all of it together with a life coaching thing. So I'm going to be doing the Beachbody thing, helping people with health and fitness, helping people with their wealth on a basic level, because it's not financial advice, but helping people be able to do both and put them both together. So things are really starting to come together for me to be able to do both of those and start to build that business on the side as well. So I'm very excited about moving that forward as well. Marty, I got FSD at 6K. Ooh, lucky man. So that would make things with the insurance company even more spicy. Yeah, that's awesome. You got in early. Tesla price prediction for 2025. Let me pop up my spreadsheet. See where I am at with that. Where is budget, valuation, base case price targets? There we go. All right, I'll show you guys. And these price targets are price targets that I have had for a while. I have not updated them. I updated them after the last earnings, but I have not updated them since. So it's been a little while. And let me pop it onto the screen for you here. There we go. All right. So you guys can go ahead and take a look at this. And again, like I said, I haven't updated these in a little while. So my price target for 2025 is 637. Now, my reasoning behind 637 on the basis of this was based upon some just the macro environment. And again, you can see that in 2023, I think the macro environment is going to keep us down and suppressed. I think we could see higher numbers as we get towards the end of the year, but the timing of when the Fed pivots, if we get into a recession, lots of other stuff that's going on, could pull us down at the end of the year to 235. As we get closer to the end of the year, I don't like to play around with it because it becomes now very near term. I try to keep it more of a 6 to 12 month target. So that 235 is my 6 to 12 month target. 2024 end of that is 356. So growing out of it as we're getting past the elections. Then 2025, again, that's the year where I think we are going to see very significant changes when it comes to the economy and Tesla. So we're going to see a massive parabolic jump in 2025, and then it's going to continue into 2026. And then we see some huge growth from there through 2033, because I think there's going to be a lot of people playing catch up as to what is going on with the stock price, and a lot of underestimating of Tesla along the way. So that's my my thesis as of right now. Let's see. Tesla is apparently not considering the small pickup market. Why would you say that? Now, when you say small pickup, like you're talking like the S10, Chevy S10s. From what I know, there is going to be a smaller version of the Cybertruck. When it's going to be released and coming out, that I don't know. So that's I know it's coming because I know that like the roads over in Europe are a lot smaller, so they still want to have that kind of vehicle there. So the small pickup, I just don't know if it's small enough as the small pickup market. At a minimum, we should hit that 146. Yeah. Do you think it'll get lower this year or next? I do think we will fill that gap down to 114. I don't think it's going to happen soon. I think that's going to happen either at the end of the year or beginning of 2024. I think we get down to that 114 gap. 146 we might hit very soon though. Hanif, what's going on? Status of my Tesla? Um, actually, let me see. So May 11th was the date. They said it was going to, that was the date I had to make the decision. And if I did not choose to take it, they would not hold it anymore and it may get canceled. They have not given me the notification of actual cancellation yet. And I wanted to keep it for you guys. So I'm kind of sitting here, and again, just so many things in limbo right now. I'm not ready to take it. And quite honestly, this new opportunity that I have, I could work things out because they're going to give me a company truck that they would prefer me to drive all the time. So I would just end up selling my car outright and not even use it because they would want me to drive their vehicle everywhere I go. With that being said, I would still hold on to my Cybertruck reservation. And as soon as that was ready, I would have the company purchase the Cybertruck for me, and that would be my company vehicle. So that is my current status on my Tesla. Yeah, Michael, yeah. I need full-time sharing my content and style. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. So like this new opportunity would allow me potentially more freedom to be able to do both. So I'd be able to do more of my content and what I want to do and work with the company and make significantly more money with that company as well. So I could do both and then build up my portfolio and all of my future goals. And I've already had the conversation with the owner over there as well. So he knows full well. It was awesome. He just asked me, he goes, "What is your ultimate goal?" And I was like, "My ultimate goal is to have enough money to make me money that I can live off of the money making me money. So I don't actually have to work and I could do what I want to do. And if I want to help that company or if I want to keep doing this with my business and sharing content with you guys and inspiring others to do what I have done, I can do that." So he's totally on board with that, totally supports me wanting to drive my business as well as helping theirs. So lots of great opportunity for me to be able to do both. Gordon Johnson price target this year of $23. It's only 1/10 of mine. That's pretty good considering it's Gordon Johnson. Yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Cybertruck size. Elon discussed it with Jay Leno a long time ago as they tried the Cybertruck. Yeah, that's and they did. And I know we've seen the prototypes and different things of smaller versions of it. So it sounds like it's something that they're definitely in the works for. What the functionality would be, though, I'm not sure. But they're obviously coming up with the regular one first, and we don't even have a specs on the full one yet. So, Natalia, is there anything in the Tesla fundamentals justifying going to 114 stock price besides just technically filling the gap? No, honestly, no. It would be strictly macro environment and manipulation based to get it down to the 114 level. So when we talk about it that way, looking at there's nothing fundamentally driving it to that point. If your thesis is that you think that it's going to be undervalued and fundamentally nothing drives it down to that point, that to me is a wonderful buying opportunity. Not financial advice, but that to me is what I look at it as, which even right now where we're at, I think it's a wonderful buying opportunity. Always look at whatever your thesis is. If you plan on holding the stock for, let's say, 10 years and you think the stock price is going to be worth $2,000 in 10 years, do you think buying it right now at today's price is going to be a great return on your investment in that 10 years? If the answer is yes, then go ahead and buy now and ignore any stock fluctuations along the way. So, yeah, Cybertruck accessories are exciting. The Cyberlander is awesome. The camper attachment to it, I've got that on my radar as well. Ooh, that's a great question. Are you willing to YOLO your Tesla stock and use that to go all in Starlink? No, I would not do that. I think Starlink is going to be awesome, but I think there's still such great potential for Tesla stock to grow that I wouldn't do that. I've been saving the money on the side for Starlink. Well, I've been saving money on the side for anything else, any opportunities. if Starlink presents itself as that opportunity, I will definitely take it. I'm actually curious as to what it would IPO at, like 50, 100, $150. I have no idea. I think timing of that is also going to matter also. Yeah, Raymond, exactly. This is what this right here, major macro, like a steep recession or a Taiwan war. That's the stuff that would bring us down to fill that 114 gap, in my opinion. Yeah, Will. FSD is definitely worth it for those who have disabilities to prevent them from driving now, such as ALS or RP, for example. Agreed. And then like the elderly who just don't like to drive at all. That'd be perfect. Ideal for them. So I think there's a lot of benefits to having FSD and a lot of people who would definitely see the benefit in it. Obviously, people who enjoy driving see no value in it whatsoever. They enjoy driving. Cool. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But there's some people who either don't enjoy driving, can't drive, or are just terrible drivers and shouldn't be on the road anyway. Yeah, Cyberlander is 40K. It's expensive. I think it's 40K. Either way, yeah, it was very expensive. That $100 Tesla price earlier was artificial because of Elon selling and funding Twitter. So can it be the 114 gap will not be filled as such scenario will not be repeated? Um, so there's always something. When you look back at any time we've seen the stock price dive for whatever reason, when you look at how shorts manipulate the stock price themselves and market manipulators come out when they want to drive the stock price down, you're going to see more negative news and things driving it down. Because don't forget, you say that it was Elon selling and funding Twitter that brought the stock price down to where it was, but Elon having Twitter didn't change after it went back up another, 100%. We went from $100 to, what was it, 214. Nothing really changed. Sure, Elon stopped selling, but nothing else changed. But all of a sudden, the news changed. It's like the Russia-Ukraine war. That's still going on, but do you hear about it much? No. COVID, still out there. Nothing has actually changed, but now all of a sudden it's not a pandemic anymore for us to not worry about, but nothing changed. And we don't hear about it in the news. So a lot of these things are fear-based on multiple different levels, whether it's macro or Tesla specific. So thinking about that 114 gap, maybe it's not Elon selling that makes it happen, but there may be some other fear-driven news that comes out that causes that stock price to come down. Hey, what's going on, Katie? Yes, glad you could make it on here. Let's see. We will need a license for a robo-taxi, not customers, but owners. You probably won't need that, but you're going to probably need insurance. I wonder if they're going to have specific insurance for robo-taxis, probably like a business insurance that would cover any incidentals or anything like that. Even if you weren't in an accident, like something that happens to a passenger within that vehicle, I would imagine something no different than like an Uber insurance would have. So I would imagine that would be the same. So I don't think you're going to need a specific license, but you would need to have insurance. And if you're going to have income coming in from it, you're going to have either an LLC, you're going to need a 1099 for something that's going to do it. I'm not sure how that's going to all roll out, but the government's going to want to know that you're making money somehow, and they're going to need their cut of it. Hey, what's going on, Mark? Hello, Daniel. Yeah, I think Tesla will let any Tesla owner join the robotaxi fleet. Owners will make some money, and Tesla does too. That's exactly how it's going to work. And so again, going to how it's going to work out, whether Tesla creates its own basically like Uber fleet that's out there, and you just become a piece of it. I don't know, but that would make sense because if Tesla did that, Tesla gets a cut, literally does nothing, but they get not only the FSD revenue, they also get a little cut of the robotaxi service that you're providing. You make money on it as well, and it works out well for everyone involved. Cyberlander could replace many people's tiny houses. So one thing I noticed with it, and somebody had pointed out to me because I thought about taking it around like I was going to have my van. It's not set up to be not permanent. So like it's like a very small campsite. So if you set up for like a weekend camping, that's kind of how it's set up. but not really like a tiny house. Although I'm sure you could live in it. People live in tents, so why not? Do not hate me for saying this. For now, Tesla is only a car company unless they can come out with real true FSD and robots. So I don't hate you at all for that, Mark. That's actually something I've been saying because when you're translating between Wall Street and Tesla bulls, Wall Street looks at it from a 12-month standpoint. They look out 12 months. What is Tesla going to provide in the next 12 months? We have no official confirmation that FSD will be solved and providing significant revenue for Tesla in the next 12 months. There's energy coming up, but even with the growth that we have seen, still not going to be providing revenue that's going to be really making a major impact on the bottom line. The only thing that's going to be making a major impact on the bottom line for Tesla in the next 12 months is going to be the vehicle revenue. And that's it. Again, we look out longer than 12 months, so we understand how that's going to play out. Not to say Wall Street doesn't understand that, but when they're looking at their price targets, that is all they look at is just the next 12 months. So, you've got the Kathy Woods that are out there going longer. Gary Black goes longer as well. So that's why I like to look at both of them as well, because they're Wall Street who speaks Tesla Bull and Tesla Bull who speaks Wall Street. They do those translations for us so we can project further out down the road. But the majority of all the other analysts out there, it's 12 months. That's it. And even now, when we're in the kind of market that we're in, it could even be 6 months versus 12 months. So, yeah, that's you're not wrong there. So again, when you see the frustration and you're trying to understand why it is that the stock price is where it's at, when we understand what the future is looking like, the stock price is driven by Wall Street. And if you can understand Wall Street, you understand why the stock price is where it's at. You pair that with what your future projections are further than 12 months down the road, then you understand why it's such a great buying opportunity right now. And then you'll thank Wall Street for being the way they are. Katie, I heard you use SoFi. Me too. I love it. Yeah, love SoFi. That's where I do my fractional trading. I've got my credit card over there. I've got some cryptocurrency in SoFi. Lots of great things with SoFi. Absolutely love it. And they did very well with their earnings. They should be profitable very soon. So they're moving up and up. I've got 50 shares of SoFi myself. Yeah, cyber camper van, that's coming. So the cyber van is coming. We obviously haven't had the official announcement about it yet. I have a feeling they're going to announce something like that either end of this year, beginning of next year. They might announce that before the compact car. Honestly, don't know. But when they do, I would imagine that's probably going to be released 2026, and that will be exciting. Yep, Tesla RV with built-in Starlink. Absolutely. They would have Starlink built into it, no questions asked. Absolutely, they would have that. Yep, go to sleep 600 miles away. That would be awesome. I mean, thinking about behind me, so that is Mount Washington behind me. I'm going to be hiking that on the 4th of July. 4th of July weekend, I will be hiking Mount Washington. I try to do it every year on the 4th of July weekend. I enjoy that. But yeah, that'd be awesome. Like when I'm out there traveling the country in my van, absolutely. I'll be like, oh, now I have to travel across the country, but I'm going to take a nap while I'm going. Perfect. What would be the liability issues letting someone else drive your car? I doubt majority of car owners let their car be driven by someone else. Now, if you're talking about FSD, it wouldn't be anybody else driving your car. The car would be driving, so it wouldn't be anybody else driving. Liability issues when it comes to current vehicles is as long as you've got insurance, you're letting another person drive your car. Like my son, if I let him drive my car, he has his permit. He's just considered another driver, not a big deal. So he can drive it. Liability is the same as if I was driving. So that would be the current situation. Ian, good evening, Tim. Went in with the brother-in-law's Tesla for the first time on Saturday. He loves it. Great weekend as my team won. Nice. Play Wembley on Saturday and hopefully get promoted with. So I found out over the weekend too, Alexandra, she is an Arsenal fan myself, is also an Arsenal fan. Now, I say I'm an Arsenal fan. My kid a few years ago asked me, as we were picking teams, he goes, pick a team. What's your favorite team? And I just randomly chose Arsenal. So I can't say I'm a huge fan. That just happened to be the team I picked. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Hollywood FC Wrexham. Yeah, good weekend. Good weekend. So how'd you like the Tesla? Tesla was good. Yeah, he loves it. That's awesome. Yeah, riding a Tesla. Hey, Karav, if you're still on here, how's it going with yours? How have you guys been enjoying it? I haven't heard much from you about that. Very curious as to how it's going on your guys' end. I got to get to my buddy's house and get into his Tesla again, just to remind me of how awesome it is. Ooh, that'll be a good one, honey. Camper van in Thailand, so I can travel around the Asia. You know what? That brings up a great point. I do want to buy real estate all around the world. So maybe on every continent, I'll buy a piece of real estate and have a cyber van there so I can travel each one of them. Good thinking. Oh man. All right, I'm going to be hopping off in a second here, folks. My voice is starting to go. Um, Let me see. Just going through the last few comments, see if there's anything else on here. Da, 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 da. All right, nothing else in here. Well, I'm gonna get going, folks. Let my voice rest a little bit. I need some sleep as well. Had a long weekend last weekend. Otherwise, I will be tomorrow night. I get my son, so probably no video tomorrow night. I will be here Thursday and then Friday another live stream. So otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you again so much for all of your support, and we will see you later.